Sometimes the biggest obstacle to convincing players to sign for Manchester City or Manchester United and to stay there is the place itself. Dani Alves was all set to join Manchester City in the summer of 2017. He was excited about linking up again with Pep Guardiola, with whom he had conquered the world at Barcelona, and had even just had lunch with the Catalan coach to begin planning for the coming season at the Etihad Stadium. A source who helps footballers settle into new clubs told Goal that City and United's statuses as among the biggest and most successful teams in the world means the attraction of playing for them overrides any concerns players may have about living in Manchester. "There's no player I can think of who wouldn't want to go to City or United. They are such big clubs that they are above these concerns. The club weighs more than the city," he says. A lack of good food in Manchester is a common complaint among the partners of players. Di Maria's wife described the local food as disgusting, while David De Gea's girlfriend Ederin Garcia, who opted against living full-time in Manchester when the goalkeeper moved to United in 2011, said you had to seek out the best eateries, and even then they were not as good as the offerings in Spain. Gundogan's wife Sarah Arfoui made headlines last year by complaining about a shortage of quality restaurants. "I tried so bad to find a good restaurant, but horrible food everywhere," she said. "Maybe in London, but in Manchester nothing. I'm sorry." Chinese restaurant wings has long been popular with players and managers and was the favorite haunt of Louis van Gaal during his 2 years as United manager. Another popular eatery is Zouk Tea Bar and Grill, where United players are often seen and where pop stars Rihanna and Drake have dined. Nolito and the lack of sunshine, Manchester's grey skies and heavy rainfall are the butt of many jokes. However, it only ranks as the 16th wettest city in Europe. Milan, Munich and Lyon all have more rainfall, even though weather is rarely mentioned as a reason why players would not join AC Milan, Inter, Lyon or Bayern Munich. Former City winger Nolito made headlines by declaring that the lack of sunshine in Manchester had made his daughter's skin change color and that she looked like she had been living in a cave. A doctor even advised him to give her vitamin D tablets. Nolito did not exactly adapt well to life in Manchester, although he only had 1 year to acclimatize before returning to Spain to join Sevilla. Sergio Aguero, meanwhile, spent a decade with City, becoming the club's all-time top scorer with 275 goals, most crucially the strike that landed them their first-ever Premier League title in 2012. Tevez, Manchester has nothing, but at least he never complained about life in Manchester, unlike his compatriot Carlos Tevez. Tevez infamously swapped United for City in 2009, falling out with the club during the 2011-12 season when he refused to warm up and come off the substitutes bench in a Champions League clash with Bayern Munich. This wasn't the only incident that attracted the ire of supporters either. In 2011, by which time he had lived in Manchester for 4 years, he said the city had nothing and admitted he had made no new friends since moving. "I'm never going back. Not even on holiday, not for anything," he added. All of it was horrible. Argentines in particular seemed to find it difficult to enjoy living in Manchester. None more so than Di Maria, who became United's record signing in 2014 for £60 million, $76.2 million, but left 1 year later for PSG, having fallen out with Van Gaal and angering Red Devils fans due to his lack of commitment. His family suffered a traumatic experience when their house was burgled while they were in it. But his wife Jorgelina Cardoso later admitted she hated the city even before they began living in it. "I didn't want to go to Manchester because at that moment in time, I was friends with Giannina Maradona, who was married to Sergio Aguero, and we flew from Madrid to his house in Manchester to pay him a visit for 2 or 3 days when Angel had a few days off at Real Madrid," she said. Mata embraces the art scene. A handful of foreign players have loved living in the city. The best example is Juan Mata, who joined United in 2014 after leaving Chelsea. Mata had started a blog while in London in which he would write about his experiences in the capital, and when he moved to Manchester he waxed lyrical about the city's cultural offerings. He wrote enthusiastic reviews of his time in the Northern Quarter and its record shops and was a frequent visitor to the Whitworth Art Gallery. Another foreign-born champion of Manchester is Vincent Kompany. The former City captain has done lots of campaigning against homelessness in the city, launching his charity Tackle for MCR to raise money and awareness for the cause. He was praised by Andy Burnham, the mayor of Manchester, who said company's interest in the problem of homelessness, a growing problem in the city, speaks powerfully about the effect Manchester has had on him, how he understands the place, his emotional intelligence. The Belgian is also married to a Mancunian, Carla Haig, a lifelong City fan.